I'm on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. And this is an exclusive Patreon only membership videos where you will get some interesting takes on Vedic astrology, some interesting learning on Vedic astrology. Connect with me on Patreon and we will grow, and I will give you much more deep insights on Vedic astrology, and a lot more secrets will be shared there.
Aries ascendant. For Aries, Venus rules your 2nd house and 7th house, and this Venus will move in your 9th house. When this Venus goes in 9th house along with Mercury, it talks about your expression, your communication. It wants you to improvise on your attitude and try to be more adjusting. Ego-related battles should be avoided. You might feel that it is your dharma, it's your duty to actually prove your point. And that is where you will have to be very careful that while proving your point, you should not hurt someone. With 7th Lord going in 9th house, definitely it talks about fulfilling your duties towards your marriage. You might have to help a lot of people, so be available. Also, your 2nd Lord in 9th house means your money will be invested in some sort of travel, maybe a business related travel. Your money can be invested in future learning. So you might decide to learn something that you think will give profits in the future. It's a very good time for people who want to go into business administration, who wants to do diplomas, who wants to enroll into courses that will give them some benefits in their career. With Venus and Mercury in the 9th house, it will directly aspect the 3rd house. So people involved in creative writing, content creators will see great benefit from this Venus transit. But because there is a retrograde Mars in the sign of Taurus, this Venus will increase jealousy. This Venus can create tussle between siblings. It can create family feud related to property and luxury. So one of the better ways is to sit together with the family, have dinner together, share your thoughts and views, have a proper conversation, and come to a common point when there is a matter of dispute. This is also the time when you will have to address the elephant in the room. It's a kind of a luxurious transit, so you will see that your expenses might increase on things which you don't need. So stay careful from that part. On one hand, Mercury will support this Venus, and people involved in trade and commerce, who are involved in tourism and travel sector, who are involved into foreign exchange, export and import, creative pursuits, fashion designing, will see some positive movement. Maybe a creative travel will give you a great boost during this Venus transit in Sagittarius. Now, Venus is out of combustion after this transit, so you can see that it's a great relief, especially for matters related to personal life. So if there is any family dispute, if there is any relationship issue, that might come to a conclusion. And one more thing, it will come to a conclusion with a sacrifice. So it's not that this is an offering where you will gain everything. It's a kind of a truce. It's a kind of a win-win situation for everybody. One for the Aries ascendant and moon sign people when Venus goes in the 9th house. It's a good time to go for holistic learning. You will also see that you will develop an interest in subjects that you never thought that you are going to spend time on. So that is also one angle. People can learn a new coding language if you are from IT sector. Upgradation of skill is a part and parcel of this transit. Just that you will have to be very careful about your own personality, about your own image, about what perception people have about you, and you may take decision on the basis of that. You may assume that what others think is the right thing and what you think or your family think about yourself is not the right thing. So this is a clear difference that you will have to create in your mind, and you will have to see what is right and what is wrong. Being practical and grounded is the key during this time. bring Shri Yantra at home. You can also chant Lakshmi Mantra and Kuber Mantra for financial success. And with Venus and Mercury watching the third house, your cash transaction liquidity will increase. That will enable you to start something new, that will enable you to prosper in your business and career. It's a very positive time. Make the best use of it. Taurus Ascendant. For Taurus Ascendant, Venus will make its move in the 8th house. Now, because Venus will cross the Gandanta from 7th to 8th, be very careful about your relationship with your spouse, tensions in marriage. The tussle and the fights with the in-laws can create more difficulties and misunderstandings. Now, you have to also understand that Venusian zodiac sign, Taurus and Libra, are experiencing a retrograde Mars and Ketu, that too in the 1st and the 6th house. And when the 1st Lord goes in 8th house and 6th Lord goes in 8th house, this creates an air of tension. And how can you diffuse it? With the use of Mercury. Now, Mercury rules your 5th and 2nd house. And when both combination sits in the 8th house, it talks about winning. It's kind of winning a treasure hunt, finding a treasure hunt. So you have to explore a lot during this time. You will have to have a tendency of not giving up. You will also see that your money will be spent on repaying the debts, or you can also invest money because there is a future possibility of maybe having a loan or a debt or paying a debt. So it's like creating a financial security for something that is in the future. 6th Lord in 8th house is a Vipreet Raj Yoga. So it's like negative, positive. So definitely if you are facing a difficult situation during this time, it will end up being positive and it will end up like a blessing to you. So you should always remain positive during this time. And Venus Mercury in 8th house is good for people who are into investment banking, who are into insurance industry, who are into taxation, and who wants to focus on making a transformation through clothes, who are into niche skills in life. And if you want to develop any of these, this is the right time to think and maybe pursue that. With Venus Mercury in the 8th house, you have to understand that Lagna Lord and the 2nd Lord are in the 8th house. That means this is the time when your emotions, time, money, efforts will be invested somewhere. You have to ensure that this investment is worthy and it's not speculative. Stock market traders, people involved into risky businesses, the business that is ever evolving, that is ever changing, you will have to be very careful during this time, because remember, Venus is not that comfortable in Sagittarius. It's a fire zodiac sign. It's a sign of the enemy. So tension, sudden loss, or sudden expectation of a loss can actually hurt your health. You have to be very careful about your health, especially if you are experiencing anything that is associated with hormones, if you're experiencing anything that is associated with your regulation of mood, happiness, diabetes, all these things. Be very careful with what food do you eat, because your food is going to define a lot of things during this time. So bringing Kuber Yantra at home and chanting Kuber Mantra is one of the ways by which you can improve this Venusian energy and try to help poor as much as you can. This is the time of investment. So whatever karma you invest, whatever time, money, effort you invest, you will get the result of that very soon. Remember, there is a Saturn in the 9th house. So this is the time when you create transformation in your life and you try to make your life more peaceful, more happier, and more comfortable. But in the Saturnian manner. That means slow and steadily. Gemini Ascendant. For Gemini, Sagittarius is the 7th house, and Venus and Mercury will be in the 7th house, and for the entire month of December, Gemini is going to experience this particular position of Venus, and Venus rules your 5th and 12th house. Now, when Venus goes in the 7th house, it increases the chance of a proper romantic relationship. Possibilities of marriage increases. Proper communication can actually dissolve tension between couples, business partners. It talks about increment in your job. The work environment will become more and more friendly, but also it will involve your energy more than what you have expected. Now, this also talks about a travel or a business related trip. Possibly, you might see that you are having or you are planning something with your spouse, with your life partner, to go somewhere where you have always wanted to go, like a dream trip. That is a possibility during this time. It's a very good time for people who want to explore new ideas of business, who want to pursue creative lines and as a self-employment. But there is one thing you will have to be careful about. Because of the first house and the fifth house lord, the Mercury and the Venus are now associated in the seventh house. It means that your presence will leave a positive vibe whenever you will meet with someone. So always smile, always have that positive aura around you, and you will have a responsibility to bring others to that positivity, give others that hope. And you can be as a guru, as someone who spreads love, who spreads light. On the other hand, from the perspective of career change, I will say that because fourth lord is also Mercury, you will love what you do and do what you love. That is the motto and message of Venus transit in the seventh house. But too much of love, too much of affection can make you more and more possessive, can make you more doubtful, and any such wrong communication can lead to heated debates, increase of jealousy in relationship, comparison in relationship, and all that can be negative. You should also not forget that the retrograde Mars has an 8th aspect on this particular house. So you have to take a control on your jealousy. So you have to take a control on your mindset so that you don't become possessive. You are not becoming too greedy in life, because greed is one thing that this combination can result into catastrophe. Everything should be in moderation, because this is a Rajasic energy. So you will definitely have this ambition to reach somewhere, to win something. Remember, this Venus and Mercury will have an aspect of both Rahu and Mars. So definitely it is like a gasoline about to be lit on fire. One mistake and things can actually go wrong. So be very careful. But if you are careful enough, if you are managing things in a good way, and if you're enjoying this time, you will be in a peace and you will see the light. Cancer ascendant. For you, if you observe, the power of 6th house gives you an opportunity to spread your love, show some humanitarian nature, love to serve, because Venus will move in your 6th house. When Saturn, the planet of karma, will watch your ascendant and will see that subconsciously you're trying to help so many people, Saturn will bless you with a lot of positive energy. And Venus is a very important planet for you. It's a planet that rules your 11th house and 4th house. It's a planet that controls your network circle, both the wider one and the close one. People that are in your contact list, as well as people that are close to your heart. So the chance of a miscommunication increases during this time, because on one hand you will try to put forward your point, but suddenly you will realize that something has gone wrong and now nobody is talking. There is a fight. You have been misinterpreted. So be very, very careful and wise during your communication with people that you love, with your network circle, because things can go wrong. Also, do not be too dependent on one source of income, and try to create another source of income if possible for you. People will see that new job opportunities will come, and you will feel happy with what you're doing, but also will feel the heat of responsibility. This is the time when if you cannot take it, and really if you cannot take it, then maybe you will need to speak up. Because if you try to burn yourself, you will try to exhaust yourself, then you will see that you are becoming alienated and aloof, and you your wishes and desires will not be fulfilled. Sixth house is not the place for Venus, but it is good that at least Mercury is present there. So you can apply your knowledge, your intelligence, your conscious efforts to resolve small issues, because here smaller issues will create bigger problems. You need to focus on your health. You need to focus on your food that you eat. You need to focus on your lifestyle, because lifestyle related issues might create problems, especially sleep related issues can create problems during this time. A long lost friend can ask for help. See if you can be available. And overall, if I see Venus transit in 6th house along with Mercury, is as if Venus and Mercury are in Virgo, as if there is a Neech Bhanga Raj Yoga, which means if you might not get love back when you spread love, but at least you know that is the right thing to do. That's the conscious decision that Mercury will allow you to take. Expenses will be on rise, and people who wants to take loan will see that the loans will get sanctioned. You will see that the ball is in motion, but this can also create a huge credit card debt because you just went out for shopping and you bought unnecessary items and now you are in debt. Stay cautious from unnecessary expenses. Emotionally, this is going to be a slightly challenging time, but you will do good because of the blessings of Jupiter, which is in your 9th house. So if you follow your dharma and if you do your karma, this transit will be as smooth as butter for you. Leo Ascendant. In case of Leo Ascendant, Venus will make its move in your 5th house. Now, 5th house is the house of romance and creativity and expression. And when Venus with a lot of fire goes in this zodiac sign, it with Mercury, it gives you the power to express. So express yourself creatively. You can write poems. You can build up. You can just throw out what is negative inside you so that the positive can come in. It's a good time to take any kind of counseling and share your thoughts and open yourself. Just one thing, that when you're trying to renovate your property, when you're trying to buy something for your home, take control of your expenses. Now, Leo is a zodiac sign that is controlled by Sun. And when Sun goes in the 5th house, post 16th of December, and joins this Venus-Mercury conjunction in the sign of Sagittarius, this gives you a lot of power, positive energy, positive vibrations that helps you increase your productivity. This is also the time when your expression can win hearts. It's a good time for people who are in media industry, advertising industry, creative professions. But because Sun is going to be very hot in this zodiac sign, be very careful that your expression do not have ego. Egoistic communication can actually hurt relationships. This is the time when you can improve your relationship with your father and have a very strong bond with your children. When Venus goes in the sign of Sagittarius, it is definitely going to be heard from Libra zodiac sign, which is your 3rd house. So it also increases, it gives you that confidence and gives you the courage to take some proper initiatives about your career and about your education. However, students may find somewhat distraction during this time. Stay away from mobile phone, stay away from games, try to focus more on your studies. Otherwise, it's a very good time when Venus watches your 11th house along with Mercury. This increases chance of new source of income. The income will rise if you're a businessman. And the liquidity, the flow of life will be streamlined instead of a lot of hurdles in between. So it's a very good time for Leo ascendant people. Career changes on the cards, but just don't take any impulsive decision. And be very careful when you're communicating with people or opening up or cribbing with your office colleagues. Virgo ascendant. Now, if you're a Virgo ascendant, you have to understand that Venus gets debilitated in your 1st house. Venus also controls your 9th and 2nd, which means it controls mostly the guidance that comes in your life and also your family. When that Venus joins Jupiterian energy in the 4th house, while Jupiter aspects your 1st house, it means that you will get comfortable with whatever life you are in. It brings more harmony, joy, and peace, but also can create unnecessary tussles related to material things in your family. If you want to buy a property, this is the good time. This is a good time to look out for any asset, maybe a car. But you will also have to understand that Mars is in the 9th house. So don't try to force a change of luck. Definitely not a time to test your luck. This is the time to check all the do's and don'ts, see if life is being productive with what you have, and then only focus on essentials. It's the time to be happy in smaller things in life. You will get guidance. Jupiter is there to protect you. And when Sun, which is your 12th house lord, enters the 4th house, people who want to visit back their home, who want to travel to different places, who want to travel out of country, who want to buy a property at a place which is distant from your homeland, all that becomes possible. Expansion of business beyond your local zone is also possible during this time. For Virgo ascendant and Virgo moon sign, it's going to be very positive, very happy, very joyful. But remember, all play and no work puts Jack out of office. So be very careful not to be overindulgent, especially in drinking, especially in that you have lost track of time and you are too busy enjoying that you have lost your duty, the sense of responsibility in life. Otherwise, Venus transit in Sagittarius for Virgo is going to be absolutely positive. Libra ascendant. In case you are a Libra ascendant, your ascendant is ruled by Venus. Now, when this Venus goes in the 3rd house, it talks about you taking matters in your own hand, but creatively. It's a Venus, Mercury, and then Sun will also join this particular house. Sun, which is your 11th lord, and Mercury, which is your 12th and 9th lord. So when you see Venus entering the Sagittarius zodiac sign, immediately you will see that you will feel that you have lost control. Give it some time. You will slowly gain back the control. It's a time to mend relationships, especially with your siblings. It's the time when you go out with your friends and have a good time together. It's a good time to take initiatives into creative pursuits. Maybe learn some music, learn singing, practice anything that is creative, because your expression will matter more in this time when Venus will be in the 3rd house. Especially your role towards sisters in your life will be more significant now, and you should be ready to help your neighbors, help the people who are your well-wishers. When Venus goes in the 3rd house, do not try to put your money into any instrument that is risky, because it will become gambling. Lust, greed should be kept aside, and completely sattvic energy should be the one that you should follow. Because if you become tamasic, this Venus can make you do things that is heavily tamasic in nature. You should also understand that Venus rules your 8th house. And when Venus rules your 8th house, 8th lord is 8th from itself in the sign of Sagittarius. So it is a bhava, the bhavam of the 8th house, Ashtama bhava. Means your action will prove to be disruptive. When it is disruptive, you have to ensure that it is positively and constructively disruptive, not negatively. So when you're do something so good, create something so beautiful that it makes everybody happy, and it's like a positive surprise, a grand welcome. Otherwise, your jealousy, your possessiveness, your doubtful nature, your revenge, your mood swings can hurt people, and the one that will be hurt the most will be you. This also means that you will be heavily dependent upon inheritance, the amount of money that you already have or you have already invested, and that might be liquidated to maybe buy something. Like you are dissolving the mutual fund, or you're dissolving the fixed deposit, maybe to buy a car. Be very careful when you're doing this. You should know what you're doing. Do not hurt your finances by dissolving the money that you have saved, the assets that you have created. But otherwise, it's a time of change. It's a time of transformation. It's a self-created transformation. Filter your action and you will see the positive side of Venus. Scorpio ascendant. Now, if you're a Scorpio ascendant, then Venusian energy rules two very important houses, 7th and 12th. Now, why this is important? Because 7th house is your business. It's your interaction with people. It's your spouse. And 12th house is something that defines your loss, difficulties that your spouse face that you have to resolve, your responsibility that is not your, but that your involvement in somebody else's life. That is your 12th house. Now, when Venus comes in the 2nd house, this talks about your involvement in your family, even when you don't like it. It's a time when there will be necessary expenses, but it's a very good time for people who want to change their payroll, who earn from various countries, who export their services and goods to different countries outside your origin country. And it's a very good time for people who want to earn money by going to a foreign country. This also means that a family loss can trouble you, so be very careful. And this is the time when you have to stand with your family. Be careful with your food. It's a good time to enjoy some delicacy that is exotic. The same Venus will see the 8th house. So this is the time when you can buy insurances, you can convert your liquid money into assets, freeze the liquid money so that you are able to stabilize your life further. Now combine these energies with Jupiterian aspect on the ascendant from the 5th house. This Venus will experience Jupiter 4th from itself, that too in the 5th house. So definitely it is a time where you can see that people who want to adopt children, they will see some proper light, some proper guidance. People who are suffering from problems that is prohibiting them to give birth to a child, there will be some medical help. This is also the time where your productivity will increase and your words and your voice will be of great importance. So commit only if you can. If you are a cook, if you love food, then this is a very good time. Restaurants will see a good business during this time. Just that Ketu in the 12th and Rahu in the 6th means controversy. So your words can be controversial. So refrain from speaking your heart out without any filter. If you have to speak unfiltered, better not to speak. Better wait at least for this Venus to cross Moola Nakshatra. And also you will see that when the 10th Lord goes in the 2nd house, people who are mostly dependent on voice-related business or source of income, maybe like voiceover artists, will see great boost during this time. It's also a time where your wealth and finance will improve and suddenly you will have this future need of expense. This is a good time where you can get back your money, receive your part, the legal share of your inheritance. This is a good time to resolve any dental issue, and a lot of people might think about cosmetic surgery during this time. But my suggestion will be, because Rahu is in the 6th, the chance of infection will increase, so be very careful. Speaking good, speaking positive and speaking happy, and chanting Mahalakshmi mantra and chanting Shri Suktam are some of the ways by which Venus will bless you with prosperity, happiness, longevity, and financial security. Sagittarius ascendant. If you are a Sagittarius ascendant, Venus, which is your 11th Lord and your 6th Lord, goes in the 1st house. This means there will be some certain change in your responsibility. This is the time when you can think about your involvement in the matters where there is a dispute, where the matters where there is conflict, and especially the conflict that is with respect to money. Loans might increase during this time, your debts might increase, so focus more on cutting the debt through your regular income. This is also the time when you will spend more money on yourself, and in a way your expectations will also be fulfilled. With Venus, Mercury, and later on Sun, which is your ninth lord, in your first house, it's a very good time. You will see that your personality will improve. You will radiate that positive aura that will help you influence people around you. And it's a very good time for people who are creators, who are into movies, for whom the personality is everything. But also, it can create controversy, so refrain from any unnecessary controversial statement. Be very careful when you are talking to your loved ones. Don't be possessive, don't be jealous, because a retro Mars from the 6th house is aspecting that Venus in the first house. It's also a time where you will have to be very careful about your own health, especially your lifestyle issues. Take care of the food and calories and cut down on your weight. Well, Jupiter in the 4th house is aspecting your wealth, and it is aspecting your 8th house. So Jupiter is controlling most of the negative aspect, and because first lord has got power in the 4th house, it talks about you gaining the strength, you reclaiming your life in a way. And now you have to enjoy that. Everything is fine. Just don't take a decision because you want to compare or you want to show your strength just because the time is good. You will be more creative, have a smile on your face, and live a joyful life because this transit is going to be absolutely auspicious. Capricorn ascendant. And when this Venus goes in the 12th house, in the sign of Sagittarius, it can trouble you from the assets that you have. You may see unnecessary expenditure coming from already owned assets. Maybe the asset that you are trying to build can be delayed, which further increases the chance of you investing money. So be slightly cautious on that angle of life. Health of mother can give you a bit of a concern, but nothing to worry because Jupiter is in the 3rd house trying to control the situation. And if you are on top of everything, if you are available for everything, and if you're ready to be like Saturn, a strong personality, then you won't need to worry. This Venus will also impact your subconscious mind. That means you will have to be very careful about how you sleep, the quality of sleep, and don't use too many loud music or lights just before you sleep. Try to relax yourself as much as you can. Planets are in your favor, but then this is also the time when you think of donating something, maybe your old shoes, maybe your old clothes, wherever you can, to the underprivileged section of the society. When you will give your helping hand, you will see that Saturn will give his helping hand to you. It's a Venus that controls your happiness, and this is the time to spread happiness. If you spread that happiness, you will see that it will be like the great time of the day. This is the time when Venusian energy will impact your career. Venusian energy wants you to basically expand and move out of the comfort zone and find something maybe beyond what is obvious, beyond what is local. Maybe this is the time people can get their visa which is stuck. You can move out to a foreign country for education purposes. Somebody who wants to get a job outside their own local native place, they can definitely get a chance. Maybe in an MNC, you will definitely get a chance to build up your career during this time. But yes, 12th house demands sacrifice. So this wish fulfillment will come with something that you have to give in exchange. This Venus can make you isolated and cause breakups also. So be very careful with how you communicate with your life partner, with your friends and family. If you are humble, if you are disciplined, and if you're ready to serve, you're ready to help, this Venus transit will give you sufficient. Not only that is something that is for good for yourself, but also something extra that you can share. Remember, sharing is caring. Aquarius ascendant. For Aquarius, Venus is very, very important. Because for Aquarius, Venus rules your 9th house and Venus rules your 4th house. Both are very crucial. It's like the house that represents your mother, father, guru, mentor in your life. So Venus is like a divine guru for you. And when that Venus goes in Sagittarius, that is your 11th house, it's going to be absolutely positive and it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Being in the 11th house, it is there to fulfill your wishes. Try to manifest what you want during this time. Chant Lakshmi mantra and Durga mantra for cutting out the hurdles in your life, and also try to take a pledge that when your wishes gets fulfilled, you will try to make somebody happy, someone who is deserving but is not that you can say lucky. Venus being in the 11th house also will increase the chance of you meeting high profile people, you gaining access to some luxury in your life. Your income might increase and you might get suddenly a job offer that you always dreamt of. This also means that you will gain access to maybe a good asset. It's also a time when you can start your income through real estate, like putting out your flat on rent, or if you're looking to buy a commercial property, this might be a good time to do that, but check your horoscope for that also. With 9th house Lord in 11th house, you can plan your travel. You will see that you will be able to enjoy your life, your productivity will increase, you may have a very good time with your friend. But because Venus will be in a fire zodiac sign, you will have to be very careful how you use your words. Yes, Jupiter in the 2nd house will take care of that, but still, if you try to show that you know better than others, if you try to show that you are more stronger than others, then this can create unnecessary jealousy and an unwanted attention. Try to stay away from that unwanted attention during this time. Otherwise, it's a time of wish fulfillment, it's a time of happiness, and it's a time of enjoyment. Pisces ascendant. If you're a Pisces ascendant, Jupiter is in your 1st house. It's already a blessing. And now when Venus, which is in fact the Lord of the 3rd house and Lord of the 8th house, when the same Venus goes in the 10th house, it talks about the initiatives that you want to take in your workplace, in your work environment. It shows that your reputation will be on the rise. Yes, people might be jealous because of your growth and success, but there is definitely a decorative change in your career. One thing you have to ensure that it should not be that your designation is increasing, your work is increasing, but you're not being paid enough for that. It should not be just a promotion or just a appreciation which results into no actual benefit. Also, you will have to see that you are forced to take some extra kind of work in your career, like co-curricular activities, creative pursuits. If you feel that you can do it, you can, but don't expect something monetary out of it. It's more about something that keeps you happy. And try to create a very homely environment in your workplace, because you are going to spend more time at your work. You will love what you do, and maybe you will also get a chance to secure a job in your favorite company, in your dream place with a dream job. All that might come true during Venus transit. At least some positive energy, at least one avenue will open up that will take you to that particular spot. This is also a good time for people who want to gain fame, especially creative people, musicians. It's a very good time for musicians, songwriters, script writers, because 10th house will have Mercury, Venus and Sun, and that will increase the chance of name, fame, glory, success. Just that you should not be misusing your power, because misuse of power will be dealt with Saturn energy in the 11th house. Slow and steady wins the race is the mantra for Pisces ascendant, and negative energies will be taken care by Jupiter, which is also the 10th Lord, but it also talks about you being happily ready to work with your full enthusiasm and give your 2000% in your life. Karma is going to be dharma.